Good evening, Wellness Way Culture. Dr. Jeremy Maxwell here, and wanted to just bring some common sense thinking to you guys tonight. So, here's what my hope is for this. I really hope you guys will share, like, and tag this video tonight with people maybe you just don't agree with. Because I don't really know how else to get this message out there, especially knowing what we know about the social media platforms, how controlled they are, how censored they are. What's up, Dr. Brandon? Those of you guys who are hopping on, if you need a good Wellness Way doctor out in the Des Moines, Iowa area, Dr. Brandon is your man. So, and he also thinks he's a really good golfer too. Hey, Kaylee, good to see you on here. So again, like, tag, and share this because, and share it with people who probably have a different opinion than you. Because unfortunately, when it comes to our social media platforms, most of you realize, guess what? We only end up seeing a lot of the information we already agree with. So it's very frustrating to try to bring a different perspective when you're honestly preaching to the choir all the time. So I'm going to do my best to kind of share some of the things that I have been studying, researching. Some of this is going to be a rehash. So what I want you to do is really watch in the comments because I'm going to post a ton of links that are helping me draw the conclusions of common sense when it comes to what people should be doing in regards to the vaccine, how to deal with viruses going forward. Because we still, you guys, listen, like seriously, look at this. Where can you find anybody else other than Wellness Way doctors? And I'm very biased. Who else is talking about the host? Who else is talking about how we can help rebuild and restore the host defenses in order to overcome a virus or a bacteria? Like nobody. All we see is how to react. All we see is what we can do to kill or to manipulate. And so I'm going to share some facts from the CDC. This is all stuff coming from their own pages. So it's not like I'm just pulling this stuff, out of a hat. So I do want to rehash an old article. Hold on a second. I'm going to check and see and make sure that this pulled up live here on my Facebook page. It's they've really gotten things a little squirrely here. I'll refresh. So if you guys remember, right before we moved in here, we were on the brink of just a lot of this, COVID stuff was really, they were trying to shut things down a lot more, still trying to figure out a lot of stuff that we've already been talking about a ton. So there was this one right here, okay? Boosting your immune system and potential treatment strategy for COVID-19. We actually trained on this in October when we went up in Green Bay, but I love it, this is straight in our backyard, you guys, right here, WashU, all right? And so, all we hear on a regular basis is in order to get back to normal, we have to do what? We have to either mask up or we got to get knocked up by this shot that is not proven to be safe whatsoever. And I'm going to, some of these links are going to help you guys see a lot of the stuff that they keep telling you to expect from this. It's not true. It just can't be. This is nothing like any other vaccine you've had before. Some of them it might be. And it's not like mRNA stuff is new. You can go to the Moderna website. They've been messing around with mRNA stuff and cancer treatments for a long time. So one of the things that I started asking was how is it that they're going to get us to achieve herd immunity when this vaccine doesn't even have SARS-CoV-2 particles in it? Okay, they've made that very clear, that this vaccine by no means does anything to help prevent you from getting it, stop the spread, And what they're doing is dealing with the infection aspect. The COVID-19 is the infection. The SARS-CoV-2 is the virus. The COVID-19 is the infected aspect. And so they're trying to manipulate your cells to create a spike protein so that it will alert the immune system to see that as an antigen and come deal with it. That, almost by definition, is an autoimmune response, not a true immune response. Now, let's get back to this, because ultimately the Wellness Way message is, what can we do to rebuild and restore an immune response that has the ability to identify viruses, bacteria, and any unknown foreign entities to the body? Okay, that's what our innate response is supposed to do. And from there, a normal innate response that occurs due to normal exposure will then initiate the cascade of events and normal steps to rebuild and respond appropriately with an adaptive immune response, creating those B cells, T cells, all the things that will properly manifest antibodies when necessary, not by manipulation. So again, I will post this article if you've forgotten it. If you want to pull it up now, literally you could probably just Google search boosting the immune system for COVID-19 WashU. It'll probably be the top one that pulls up. But I just find the humor in this, because we're talking common sense, you guys. Common sense, you would think. Still kind of aggravated that my own live page will not tell me that I went live. Probably blocked already. So anyways, this is what it says here. New research from the scientists in WashU suggests that the immune systems of such patients can't do enough to protect them from the virus. Well, what have we said for a long time? What has even the CDC, the NIH, and the WHO all said? That those who are compromised, those who don't have a properly functioning immune response, are the ones who are going to be most susceptible to being able to identify a virus that's present and then deal with it appropriately. Holy crap. What a novel idea. So as the COVID-19 pandemic continues to claim lives around the world, which again, there's a lot of things claiming the lives of people around the world far worse than the SARS-CoV-2 virus and the COVID-19 infection. But much research has focused on the immune system's role in patients who become seriously ill. Well, let me ask you guys this. Why are we not doing research about the immune system's role in the healthy? You guys ever commonsensically ask yourself that? What about the healthy? How do we even know? Almost everybody I know and encounter base their health on how they feel. And you can't. You have to prove it with a test, and it's not just one test. Our immune panel is just one of many ways in which you can begin to build a case that shows you how your immune system is responding, because you've got part of your immune system that will give you information about food allergies. You've got things you can test in a stool test. You've got ways to look at hormones, like even looking at a Dutch test is going to give you some information about an immune response based on your circadian, rhythm and your adrenals. And so obviously they're finding, hey, if your immune system's compromised, you may not have the appropriate stuff to mount an attack against this virus. So why do we think that you take a immunocompromised person and then inject unknown things, even if they are known? You're literally defying the second law of thermodynamics. You can't take disorder, can't take dis-ease, can't take a body that's out of homeostasis, put things in the body that are going to manipulate normal cellular physiology, and then produce something better. You guys follow me on that? They're literally, this defies the second law of thermodynamics. But new findings from a team of researchers led by scientists at Washington U School of Medicine point to another theory and suggest that patients become ill because their immune systems can't do enough to protect them from the virus, landing them in intensive care units. We've been saying this forever. This is like the crux of the chiropractic philosophy and mindset. Now, the better part is this day and age, we can test for this, you guys. Again, our Wellness Way Immune Panel. It's a CD4, CD8 panel. Any doctor can run this. Hello, Jody. And many more of you who jumped on. Hello, Missy and Heather, Dorothy. Thank you guys for hopping on. Hello, Ann. So again, if you guys are hopping on, like, tag, and share. And tonight I was asking, share it with somebody who has a different opinion than you about all of this. Because again, all of you that are on here, I'm preaching to the choir. So hopefully this will be something that will equip you guys to feel confident in sharing with others. Because I know personally, I'm trying to ask a lot more questions because I tend to be one who will vomit information on you and just be like, just believe it, you know? Why can't you just think this way? But we're only going to make real progress, I think, if we can ask more questions. And so that's been a challenge for me, but it does get people to start to think differently. They're really only going to do that by asking questions. So again, they're finding with their research that people were not well equipped to fight this virus. And I love who said this. I can't remember. I apologize if you're watching and I'm stealing something you said, but I loved how they put it. We've vilified symptoms. We've made it so that people are so afraid to deal with symptoms. Do you guys understand that a normal immune response is going to elicit probably some uncomfortable things? If you have a fever, you're going to get hot, get the chills, you're going to sweat, your body may ache, you may get diarrhea. Yeah, those are all inconvenient and you don't feel good. But that does not mean you're sick or having an abnormal response. I hope to God that's what your body is doing. That's how you know you've been exposed to some type of antigen or foreign thing, and so you're mounting a response. But what do we want to do? We vilify everything. We take drugs to manipulate those symptoms. So if you don't let, again, the fever do its job, guess what? You give it a drug, lower it down, the body's going to say, knock it off. We want to go high for a reason, and then poof, it spikes. And then all of a sudden that happens in an infant, and they freak because they call them febrile seizures. Well, no, the body adapted to you messing with the manipulation of the drugs and said, hey, we're going to spike it up because we're trying to do our job. It's no different than for an adult. So some drugs tamp down the immune response while others enhance it. Now, again, the Wellness Way response, I'm going to disagree with that. Certainly drugs will dampen the immune response, like autoimmune drugs. You know, we got Humira. Any of those things dampen the immune response. So they're trying to get you to not have some of these uncomfortable responses due to foreign things we put in our body. But I'm going to take the stance that we don't really enhance the immune response. You're either going to have deficiencies that will not allow it to perform normally. Toxicities will create interference and not allow it to perform normally. And then stress will do the same thing. So really, when we do testing and find that there is a dampening of the immune response or a weakening of that response, as we give you the tools and the constituents, the supplements that are needed to help rebuild and restore, certainly there is an elevation of that immune response from abnormal to normal, but it's not a boost. It's not an enhancement. Do you guys follow me on that? I know it seems kind of semantic, but there is no boost. There is no enhancement. You can't take it above and beyond what's normal. Do you guys follow? And so that's where I disagree with that statement. But everybody seems to be throwing the kitchen sink at the illness, okay? Yes, drugs and lifestyle can influence that, but why are they not talking about other lifestyle things? There's so many things you guys can do to help rebuild and restore. So the beauty of testing and not guessing is we know where there may be insufficiencies, toxicities, or how stress may be ultimately influencing that. Again, for those of you who are hopping on just now, please like, share, and tag somebody who disagrees with this message or with you in your response to dealing with the COVID, because all I'm trying to do is equip you guys. So again, when we're done, I'm going to throw all the links on here that I talked about. It'll be a truckload, trust me. So here's what they found, again, after gathering blood samples from 20 COVID-19 patients. So again, these are people who have the infection. Okay, they're looking at what's going on with the infection. Researchers employed a test to measure this. So the researchers employed a test to measure the activity of the immune cells in the blood. Again, that's nothing new. CD4, CD8 panel will show you the innate and adaptive immune responses. They compared the blood of those of 26 hospitalized sepsis patients and 18 others who were very sick but had neither sepsis nor COVID. So again, we've been doing this blood panel for some time. What's up, Chris? Good to see you on here, bud. COVID-19 patients often had far fewer circulating immune cells than typical. Go figure. And here's one thing I want to be clear with you guys. Even if you've got a top-notch immune system, it doesn't mean that you are assured of not having symptomatology. Again, we have to stop vilifying the symptoms. A normal immune response, if you've never encountered a virus or some outside bacterial intruder, you should be hopeful and glad that you go through a fever. You should be glad that you encounter maybe some diarrhea, some body aches. All of these things are what happen when you encounter something new for the first time. Now, the next time going forward, it may not be that way because now your immune system's gone through the proper exposure, proper channels and cascade of events to make a memory of it, not through manipulation. They later found they did some stuff with interleukin-7, a cytokine that is required for the healthy development of immune cells. See, if you guys have followed the Wellness Way for a while and you've followed any of Dr. Flynn's stuff, he talks a lot about cytokines. And all cytokines are little like hormone communicators, basically. They're the ways in which cells communicate cell to cell to their neighbors to kind of encourage the next cascade of events. So it's just interesting. Again, go through and read what this study is showing. We were attempting to learn whether we could get the immune cells working again. And we could. But see, they're trying to do it through manipulation. So the Wellness Way is all about restoration and rebuilding. This is where it's not, I don't even know if it's humorous. It's actually kind of frightening to me the way they wrote this. We should have been geared up and more ready when this pathogen appeared. So my question to you is, are you prepared? What are you doing to prepare yourself going forward? Maybe you did encounter the SARS-CoV-2 virus and it infected you and you're dealing with the COVID-19 infection symptoms. And maybe that was a bad day for you. I am truly sorry, but what were you doing ahead of time to prepare your host? The host is what matters more than the virus, you guys. Your body was designed to handle these things. And what really bothers me is how they act as though these things honestly just appear out of nowhere. Okay, that's not how viruses and bacteria work. Sure, have they figured out how to manipulate and do biological warfare and unleash things? Certainly. But when we're just talking viruses on a day-to-day basis, they're all over. They're on you. They're in you. You touch dirt, they're there, you guys. We cannot be so afraid of these things going forward. But this is what was frightening to me. But what Ken and I in the study here and our colleagues are working on now is finding ways to boost the immune system that may help people during future pandemics. We've been doing that in the chiropractic profession for over 100 years. And there's people before us that were teaching others how to prepare the host and improve self-defense, if you will, immune defense, long before COVID. So what kind of things, again, how are you preparing yourself and your family as we move forward? Are you going to sit back, double and triple mask now? I mean, good Lord, Fauci, you're killing me, dude. If one didn't work, why are two or three going to work? Some of you, and again, I'm preaching to the choir to most of you on here, but how can you sit inside and do nothing and think that the vaccine is going to fix all of this? Because again, you're not getting anything related to SARS-CoV-2. They're trying to manipulate the cell so that you can somehow deal with this spike protein that they're talking about. They've never said this would help stop the transmission. They've never said it would help prevent you from getting it. It's only to hopefully deal with the symptoms of the infection of COVID-19. So tell me, please, somebody tell me, how do you get herd immunity when you're doing nothing to actually even create an immune response against the virus? And why would you ever encourage anyone who's already had it? As we can see, millions of people have been tested and shown positive for it. So if you've got a 99.6% chance of survival, why would you need a vaccine? I don't understand that. That they're only touting 90 to 95% efficacy on a totally bunk study. And you can go back and find stuff on Dr. Flynn's page. He did all of that. And so here at the end it says, we think if we can make our immune system stronger, we'll be better able to fight off this coronavirus. Of course, that is the whole premise of chiropractic in the wellness way, to help test appropriately, see where you need rebuilding, and then we're going to help create a plan of restoration for that. But then it says, as well as viral and bacterial pathogens that may be unleashed in the future. I don't know. What are they saying? That this was unleashed? Possibly. But my perspective, and the Wellness Way perspective is, listen, you guys, these viruses and bacteria are not lurking around every corner. They live on you, they live in you. You breathe them all the time. You do realize that we were passing around viruses and bacteria long before we were told about COVID-19 and the connections between the SARS-CoV-2 virus. Do you guys follow so far? So again, tonight's takeaway: the host matters more than the virus. For those of you who are bragging and taking pictures of your vaccine, I really hope that you don't have a bad reaction to it. I really do hope that. But there are a lot of things that are going off in not a good way. So, like here was one. This is where we're going to talk common sense, you guys. You can go to the CDC website right now. I typed in, this is worldwide. How many deaths? I can't add it up now again. 25 and under. All right. How many people have died supposedly from COVID? 25 and under. And sorry, I had this all queued up here. Here it is. So between 15 and 24, 212 people died. Between 5 and 14, 25. So now that's 237. Between 1 and 4 is 9. So that's 246. All right. So between all of those, we're just barely... Yeah, see, they've got, that's 25 to 34. There are so few deaths under 24. So why in the world do we need this taking place? Where is it now? Ah, here it is. So literally you have a 99.6% chance of surviving this. It's well shown that under the age of 24, the likelihood of death and being an asymptomatic carrier is total bullcrap. And then we have this guy. Fauci sees vaccination for kids by late spring or summer. The government's top infectious disease expert. I don't think so. He's done nothing but change his story from day one, and we need people to wake the frick up. Sorry for my slang language, but it's really starting to piss me off because of these kids. I'm telling you guys, you do not want to put this junk in your kids. And if you are told that you're going to be forced to do this, it's high time you figure out how to hire a lawyer, because this is nonsense as well. I've posted stuff on my Facebook page. You can go back. The ICANN is a group that is taking on clients if you're a good case for this. But you guys listen, okay? This is right here. Vaccines, this vaccine is not yet approved for children, but testing already is underway for those as young as 12. I'm begging you, please do not give this to your children. This is nothing like any other vaccine that your children have gotten, and I can certainly give a great argument for none of them being given. If those trials are successful, what does that mean? All we hear is safe and effective, safe and effective. Well, I don't think so. Fauci said they would be followed by another round of testing down to those 9 years old. Do you guys really think that your body's that jacked up? I mean, if you've been getting shots from day one, trust me, you're going to have a compromised immune system. And for those who do believe in vaccines, okay, that's fine. I'm trying to equip you with new information, but ask your doctor this. Ask them if they'll run a CD4 and a CD8 panel before your child gets vaccinated and then run one after. Look, I mean, if they truly cared about the health of your child, wouldn't you want to know if you were already immunocompromised before they injected you with that? Because there is research that shows that a vaccine will actually be detrimental to the immune response, which is why it's typically contraindicated for them to run a CD4, CD8 panel post-vaccine. If they really believed in what they do, why are they not running that panel before every vaccine? They also know that vaccinated people will shed more viruses and bacteria after the vaccine. Now, can this one do that? It's not going to shed SARS-CoV-2 because it doesn't even have it in there. I just know that when you get injected like this and you create an abnormal immune response, yes, your body's going to respond and it's going to shed. If I don't have the study up here, I'll find it. It's in one of the links. It will show they actually did the first time ever study where they compared vaccinated versus unvaccinated. I'm giving you a ton of stuff. It's going to take you a while to get through it. I've been stewing on this for a long time, and I'm pretty sure this video is not going to get too far without you guys, because again, we know what's happening. But we've got evidence here. Nearly 24 nursing home residents in Norway die within days of getting the vaccine. And again, you can go through and read this. This is what kills me too. So we've got evidence here that suggests that right after getting the vaccine, they died. But then they make the argument, well, you can't really say that they died from the vaccine. Yet, don't you find it interesting that they sure categorized every death over the last freaking year as a COVID death? Isn't that interesting? So, you guys, these companies are fighting for their piece of the pie. You have to understand, Moderna got $1 billion from the U.S. government. That's your tax dollars, you guys. Okay, they're not in this to help people worldwide be healthy. They just aren't. You know, if they really were, they would have figured out a better way to figure this stuff out without stealing our tax dollars. So that one's going to be on there. Or, hey, how about this? This is what's in the pipeline as of January 29th. They keep trying to pass this. This is why I think Democrats and Republicans, both of y'all stink right now. I didn't use another word, but you're terrible. $1,400 stimulus should only go to those who get COVID-19 vaccine. All that tells me is these people have no freaking clue about what they're doing to the human race. You cannot inject your way back to health. You cannot drug yourself back to health. You have to start looking to the body within, making these lifestyle changes. I mean, I can't tell you how many lifestyle studies are out there on PubMed, but it boils down to this. People don't want to do what's hard. I was on my seminar last week. I think it was, I can't even remember the name of the movie. Al Pacino talking about, I've known the right road for forever, and I never chose it. Why? Because it was too damn hard. And that's exactly where we're at today. People don't want to do the right thing because it's too damn hard. They don't want to deal with the symptoms. What do? We drug ourselves to make the symptoms go away. We do that every day, until all of a sudden you wake up and you have cancer. And you think, well, I've been healthy. How did I get cancer? Because you're sick. Healthy people do not have cancer, period. They just can't. That's what I thought, Heather. I'm pretty sure it was Scent of a Woman. Thank you for that. But that was a great quote. So bear with me. I'm pretty much done. That's what I wanted to say. So like, share, and tag somebody who does not agree with this, because those are the people we're trying to educate. I seriously, on your behalf, please do not take this vaccine. Please do not give it to your children. It has not been proven ever safe and effective. Neither has the one for adults. All right. So, but you know what? I'm going to get up every day and still come here and fight on y'all's behalf. I've got certainly my own battles when it comes to masks and all those things. So yeah, I will get all this stuff posted. Here it is. Government database shows 7,844 injuries from this vaccine, 181 deaths following COVID vaccine as of January 15th. So this is already outdated. And anyone who follows VAERS, it's a vaccine adverse event reporting system. I guarantee you that's been underreported for years. But again, thank you, 1986 Act with with President Ronald Reagan. These companies, they can't be sued. No damage can be brought to them. People are being maimed and harmed on a regular basis because of this stuff. So if they were so safe, why do they have to be so protected? So with that, I hope you guys will be a little more equipped to counter an argument. Ask questions, all right? The better questions you ask are directly proportional to the quality of your life. Thank you, Dr. Flynn. So, are you prepared? And what are you doing to prepare and lead your family going forward? All I can say is find the nearest wellness way toward you. Get tested. How do you know what your immune response is right now? How do you know if you're allergic to foods? How do you know your digestive system's working right? You don't, unless you have a test to prove otherwise. So if you're looking to take your health to the next level and know without a shadow of a doubt where you stand, and if you need rebuilding and restoration, that's where we separate ourselves from the rest. We will create a plan and help you take the next steps necessary to rebuild and restore a proper immune response to fight off viruses and bacteria. Be sure to join Dr. Jessica Smith next week. We will have our next Hope for Your Hormones seminar, and Dr. James will be presenting at the end of the month as well. So we always have lots of opportunities for you guys to engage with us. You can go to as many of these as you want. I encourage you, engage and learn more on a regular basis so that you and your family will be prepared for when they unleash the next pandemic. I'm Dr. Jeremy Maxwell, the Brainstem Whisperer. I hope you guys have a great night, and we will talk to you later.